I'm David Miller. I'm the IT operations manager at Emergicon. We mainly deal with EMS, emergency medical services billing, as well as fire department billing. Um, so we have a lot of HIPAA compliant documentation and private documentation that we need to secure. And my role is to kind of manage the operations and help desk and make sure everything runs pretty well.
I am Andy, obviously, as you mentioned. I'm an IT help desk analyst too. Typically, anything that's get given to me, I just go ahead and take and just run with it.
We mainly used it to coordinate integrated documentation. Notion had an AI plugin that we used to transfer that type of synergy to our ticketing system and to other pieces that we could put into tasks and management. And I think there were 13 team spaces, and I think we had like 40 or so users. Most of that was static data. There was a couple of team spaces that had dynamic data, which was our biggest concern. Um, and that was just kind of we used it for our documentation repository. We had already been paying for SharePoint, and we had like 40 terabytes available in SharePoint. So space wasn't a concern because we didn't have a lot of raw data in Notion, but mainly just cost. I looked at it doing ourselves, and after about 5 minutes, I just shook my head. I was like, we're gonna need somebody a little more professional who has experience with migrating data above our skill set. We could have PowerShelled it, but I know we could have destroyed some data pretty badly. We could have looked into some API tools, but did not have the expertise that you guys had. So, Roby the engineer was very, very experienced and very thoughtful and very meticulous in moving things around and very helpful, by the way. So kudos to him. Um, so I did the blatant, Google search or internet search for tools that would do it. And then I just started looking at partners that could do it. I think you guys were like in the top three in my search. But you were the only one that came up with the Notion option. So that was comforting to know that you guys could deal with that and map that out. So I was pretty sold after we had our initial discussion and decided to move forward. Believe it or not, the hard part was convincing people on our side that there wasn't going to be any downtime. We kind of set goals. After the end of the year, you'll only have read access. After next month, you won't be able to export or save anything. So we kind of whittled it down, stair stepped it down. Because I think we made 2 or 3 passes after the initial test to kind of migrate the data, doing deltas between the data migration. So I think the toughest part was kind of wrangling the users on our side to make sure that they didn't go into Notion and goof something up or change something that wouldn't have been captured in some of those delta copies. So I think like I said, the toughest part was getting people here not to mess with stuff. There were two, is data retention to make sure we didn't lose any data and to make sure there was a smooth transition between Notion and, the SharePoint platform without any downtime. And I think everything went really well. The transition was relatively smooth. I think not knowing what kind of mud we were stepping in with Notion and some of the formatting, I think that was more of a challenge. Not knowing how we were going to plan for some of those and what the options are. Again, Rupi did a great job of offering solutions and working around some of those roadblocks. I think we accomplished what we set out to achieve.
I thought what was fantastic was the fluidity. Basically, any request that would have Rupi, assist us with, he'd be more than grateful to assist. Whether that be, we have the dynamic table where we had specific things that needed to be put in a specific way just for that specific team. Everything else was fine, but just that specific team needed one specific thing. Groupie was always more than, you know, always advocating for, yeah, we can definitely do that for you. He gave us different options so we could choose from it. So I think the fluidity of it was fantastic.
It actually went really well. A lot of the team spaces we had in Notion, we correlated, we worked with Ruby and we correlated directly to Microsoft 365 and gave them groups. Everybody's locked down by groups. So the security was already built in with SharePoint, getting everything sorted out between members that had access to multiple team spaces and multiple sites. We just kind of took the list from Notion and copied those permissions to SharePoint. It actually worked out really well. And honestly, I'm going to knock on wood here. Haven't heard a peep from anybody saying they can't find their data. So it's been a couple months, so it's good to know that all the data is still there. All ClonePartner. They know what they're doing. They know how this works. They're really good. They're really helpful, very knowledgeable from the technical side, and very responsive in planning and coordinating those actions. So we're very thankful. You guys did a great job, and hopefully we won't have to move anything ever again. But if we have anything like that, we'll definitely give you guys a call.
I second that 100%. Y'all made everything super smooth. We definitely would have struggled with it. So we are totally grateful for y'all.